everybody, and welcome to the Bucket Talk Baseball podcast. My name is Christian Bond, as always joined by Jackson Kahn. Jackson, how have you been? What have you been up to? It's been a while. It's been like 2 weeks.
It has been a while. Really, it's just been grinding on school. But you've been doing the same.
Yeah.
It's down the home stretch. You can see the finish line from here, but there's still a lot we got to do.
There's a lot of race left, yeah. It's been busy. That's why we haven't done this in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just been a little absurdly busy. We'll say it that way. Anything fun that has happened with you over the last couple of weeks? Or
I'm trying to. I got to watch my little sister play a softball game. I haven't got to see one all season, so that was good. Other than that, really, that's been about it. I've been working and going to school, so it's been nonstop that for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Pretty much the same. I help coach a high school baseball team and, of course, work for POU. So we hosted the conference tournament at POU, and we hosted just this last week, and it ended yesterday, a little like end of the season round robin, get some guys some time that haven't played all year type thing.
Yeah.
So between that and helping with the high school, I think I've seen about 21 baseball games over the last 2 weeks.
And hardly any of them being at the Mariners.
No. Hardly any of them being the Mariners, which I'm not like complaining. I'm just saying that's how busy.
Busy, yep.
Like, obviously by my choice, I've helped coach the high school team, and by my choice, I've worked these baseball games. So it's my own doing, but it's been a lot.
Yeah.
It's been a lot. And so I've gotten my fill, like I said, not necessarily with the Mariners, but let's get back into the Mariners.
Yeah.
Let's get back into the Mariners. And while we were away, they were forced to make that decision that we knew was coming. When Ben Gamble got hurt on March 5th, and then on March 7th it was announced that Ichiro was signed. He was going to be a Mariner again, and people knew, oh, cool.
Yep.
That's a good fix for a couple weeks, which it was. It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when Ben Gamble came back, a decision had to be made between Ichiro and Guillermo Heredia.
Yep.
And that happened on Sunday, April 22nd, when the Mariners sent Guillermo down to Tacoma and kept Ichiro on the roster, and the vocal fan base, we'll call it that, on Twitter, were not very happy.
No, they were not.
They were quite upset that old man Ichiro was still on the roster and Guillermo had to be sent down. And I mean, let's talk about it. What do you make of that move that had to happen at some point? Happening?
Yeah, I was even asked about this when I was at work. I'm wearing my Mariners hat almost every day, and I'm asked about it by people who don't even know if I know anything about it, my thoughts on it. So it was it was like a warm up for this all week.
There you go. So you've been preparing.
I have been. So there is one thing where you'd have to designate Ichiro for assignment, as the Mariners would have to do that, rather than they can send Heredia down and they don't lose either guy.
Right.
So, but I still think that Guillermo overall would have been the better choice for the fourth outfield spot, based on how they've been playing both this season.
Right. Okay. Explain that a little bit more.
So
tell me the differences between the two. So besides one being legitimately able to be my father, and the other one probably a brother.
So we're just talking. So they have similar amount of plate appearances this year. Guillermo with 37, Ichiro with 43. So Ichiro's had 9 hits and 43 at bats, while Guillermo's had 9 hits and 37 at bats.
Let's reiterate, this was to the point of when the decision was made.
Yeah. And then, because Ichiro hasn't really played since Guillermo was sent down. So Guillermo's been hitting 310, Ichiro hitting 220. So a little discrepancy in that. A few more extra base hits for Guillermo, not any for Ichiro whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that to look at too. Defensively, Guillermo's been being subbed in for Ichiro at the end of the games.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know that Guillermo would be the better choice, at least in Service's head, that Guillermo would be the guy to go defensively. So with that, it just seems like overall between the two, if you're just going strictly by the stats, Guillermo is going to be your guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there is no argument to be had on who the better player was.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way. Like, Guillermo Heredia, better offensively up to that point. Also much better defensively. I think that he plays tremendously hard. But he's still in a stage of his career where he has to play tremendously hard. He's not a made man yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that sounds wild, like, oh, but have you seen Robinson Cano dive in a Mariners uniform? Like twice.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years, like twice. It is what it is, right? So I think that ultimately it came down to timing. It was weird how quickly Ichiro's name was associated with the Mariners when Ben Gamel got hurt.
Uh-huh.
Like, he was on their mind before Gamel got hurt.
No, people were really excited about Ichiro joining the roster. Yeah.
Right. And I'll throw my hat into it. I was too.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is cool. Knowing full well that Ichiro is not the player that he was. It's kind of more or less a farewell tour. I don't see them making the same move next year. I think it'll be fun to see. I think it has been fun to see him in number 51 run around in the outfield.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool. And Guillermo had the option.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's... I'm sorry. Between those two, you have the option to be sent back down and brought back up for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
You can go back and forth all year long. Ichiro was not going to stick around if you DFA him.
Nope.
He's leaving. It's over. It's over with Ichiro once you say, hey, we want to send you to Tacoma or do whatever with you that we want.
Yeah.
It's over, right? And, people were mad that Guillermo's not here. I'm going to go the other way. It's a tough break. I think that time in AAA for Guillermo Heredia will be better for him long term. He's going to play every day. People are missing the fact that this is the fourth outfielder. 3 outfielders play during the game.
Yeah.
This is the guy that is going to play twice a week, once a week, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we so fired up over this? In general, I mean, it's been a week since this has happened, and people, like we said, off the jump, mad, outraged. For what?
Yeah, and I think it all started with that game right before Heredia was sent down.
Sure.
What did he do during that again?
I think the Mariners were trailing to the Rangers on that Saturday evening, and then he sparked some sort of a rally that gave the Mariners the lead.
Yeah, so it was just fresh in the minds of everybody, sending down a guy who's been hitting well. You just look at the plain batting average, the OPS, and just the basic stats you look at, and there you see that this guy's been playing hot lately.
Sure.
So I think that really stirred everybody up about, well, we like Ichiro, but we'd rather have the team win. Now, looking at that, I mean, the team's won. They've done just fine. Now,
without either of them.
Without either of them. So, because Ben Gamel's been getting most of the playing time out there in the outfield.
Which he will. Yep. He's their guy.
Yep.
He's their left fielder. And I like the way that you said that. Guillermo was hot then.
Yeah.
Guillermo Heredia, in a short sample size, just 2 or 3 seasons, is a 250 hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Ichiro at this stage of his career, probably a 250 hitter.
Yeah.
The difference in the two of them isn't significant. Not significant enough to be caught up in. Like it's a do or die situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the reactions were a bit extreme, and I think that it's fine that Ichiro's still on the team.
Yeah.
I mean, they made that choice when they signed him.
Mm-hmm.
And they just put it off, and
Yeah, I didn't think. I didn't think Heredia was going to do this well. I don't think anybody thought that Heredia was going to do this well. Then that's why he was signed. Ichiro, pronouns, pal. So that's why Ichiro was signed. So that they're kind of stuck.
Heredia had 2 home runs on the year, right?
Yeah.
That's not what he is.
No.
Closed his eyes and swung hard. Let's be real.
Yeah, he's
snuck
not a
it
home
out
run
down
guy.
the line.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Don't even acknowledge that number.
No,
that's not what that guy is.
I haven't. I know,
but just I think the general public gets caught up. Oh, he hits home runs twice.
Yeah.
In a couple of games where, I can remember the one in Minnesota. The team was already up 9-4 or whatever it was.
He's hit 7 total in the other 2 seasons. 1 his first year, 6 the next.
So a full season of Guillermo Heredia might be 10 home runs.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see here. Well, actually, it might only be 6. He played 123 games last season. That's a lot. So okay, 7. We'll go 7 home runs, not even 8.
So a full season of Guillermo Heredia is going to be a 250 batting average with 7-ish home runs.
Yep, because he hit 250 his first season, 249 his next season.
So if you throw him down to Tacoma and let him play every single day and get better and better and better, who's to say he's not a better hitter and a better defender? Why are we so caught up in the right now that we can't see the long-term effects of letting Guillermo Heredia get a little bit better in a place where he's pretty solid? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I see what you're talking about.
Calm down then. Tell us what you think in the comment section on the Half Athlete Radio YouTube page. Are you mad that Ichiro's still on this team as a fourth outfielder watching most of the games? Are you? Why? Tell me why. Jackson, why? Why?
Why?
Do you fall on either side of this one? Would you rather have Guillermo up? Where are you at?
I'd rather have Guillermo up, personally.
Why?
So when it gets down to it, I hate looking at sabermetrics, but when I looked at the wins above replacement, which for those of you who don't know, that's the WAR stat that is talked about. It's like, so basically offense. So it's wins above replacement.
Right.
So that would be like anything positive that the player does to help with having a chance to win. And I'm just looking offensively, because defensively we've kind of came down to Guillermo's a better defensive guy just overall. I think that's kind of across the board.
At this point, yes.
Yeah. So offensively, Guillermo is a .3 WAR, which doesn't seem like it's a whole lot, but if you're over a 1, you're like the dude on the team. Cano is pretty much always above a 1. And we have another guy who's also above a 1. We'll talk about later on the Mariners. But he's .3, Guillermo is. And on the other hand, Ichiro is negative .3. So that means he hurts the team offensively. So
at this point, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just looking at that. You'd rather have a guy that helps the team on the roster.
Who would you rather have pinch hit late?
Right now? Just right now, it's Guillermo Heredia.
But Ichiro's been doing it for the last 3 years in Miami.
My gut.
That's been his whole role. Is to go in there and get a base hit, and then we'll put the pitcher in when you go back out on defense.
True.
That's what he does.
Yeah. I see that. My gut right now says Guillermo Heredia. Overall, if you talk overall career, the safer bet is Ichiro. But I still just think right now Guillermo Heredia would be the guy I'd go to.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not mad that Ichiro's on the team. Fourth outfielder. Watching most of the games.
Another thing, Guillermo Heredia would not be getting in any of these games anyways right now because Gamel's the guy. So right now it's just kind of like it really doesn't matter. But
here's the other part we've talked about. David Freitas and Mike Margeva, the backup catchers.
Yeah.
Probably not great big league players long term. Serviceable backups, we'll say that. This is the same role. You're a serviceable backup outfielder for when someone needs a day off. If there's anyone in your outfield that does need a day off.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't the conversations happening with David Freitas about, oh, wow, what a terrible backup? No one's saying that. They know he's going to play twice a week.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for Ichiro.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that there's been no spotlight on the backup catching situation in Seattle. It's been more of Ichiro's a bigger name than Zunino. And
well, I'm not saying the backup catching situation in Seattle is bad.
Yeah.
Just like I'm not saying the backup outfielder position is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Saying in the grand scheme of things, they might not mean a tremendous amount.
Yeah, it's just that there's been no spotlight on the catching situation, the backup catching situation.
Are you saying it's bad then, or?
Me personally, yeah, I think it's bad.
Ooh.
I mean, I would rather have. It looks like Freitas looks like he's catching with a goat head behind the plate. He looks terrible behind the plate, in my opinion. Like Kenji Jojima bad, which people would be like, oh, Kenji Jojima wasn't that bad. But as a former catcher, the art of catching was not Jojima's number one.
Jojima was a name also on the Mariners when the Mariners were very, very bad.
Yeah.
That's why you can remember that name?
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, probably not a great player.
No. So, and Freitas, in my opinion, would be the backup to Kenji Jojima.
Sure.
So, it's just, like, they're both, and Marjima is a good story, but they just, neither of them would really help the team. So, both of them are bad. Please, Zunino, stay healthy, in my opinion.
Zunino, stay healthy, and they give you an okay game when they play.
Yeah.
On Wednesday or Sunday when those day games fall, and that's when they normally get their turns. Like, they give you an okay game, you're fine with it, right?
Yep.
It's the same thing if Ichiro has to play in left field or right field. Get on base once, Ichi. Help us out. Make the routine catches. That's it.
Yep.
All right, that's 15 minutes on Ichiro. You think we're good on?
I think we're good on Ichiro.
Okay. So let's rotate now. Let's catch everyone up. Because we've taken 2 weeks off, we thought that it'd be probably good of us to quickly go through the series that we've missed and talk about each one of them. The last time we talked to y'all, it was when the Mariners were hosting Oakland in like what was really their first significant homestand of the season. Mariners, first 2 games of that series, they won both of them. They scored 17 runs in those first 2 games.
That's a lot. Just
including what is probably going to be my favorite home run of the year. On that Saturday night, Dan Vogelbach, back-to-back nights, right? This was the second big league home run. There's not an adjective good enough to describe how badly he hit that ball over the Hit It Here Cafe sign.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
They mentioned that Russell Branyan, we'll throw back there, was the last person to do that.
Man, we're really feeling the 2008 M's right now. Yep. I don't even know what year that was. 2012?
Yeah.
That era. The era of bad Mariners.
It was, and that ball is still trying to land somewhere. That ball was hit so hard that Cruz even was shocked by it.
That was as good. It cleared the Hit It Here Cafe.
Yeah, that's a shot.
It cleared it.
That's a shot.
I was there on Sunday.
Yeah.
The day after it happened, and just sitting in the center field bleachers. So a pretty solid view of the field. Everything's happening in front of me, right? And I sat there, call it 5 minutes, staring at how far away the Hit It Here Cafe was from home plate.
Yeah, that's a long ways.
Dude.
Yeah.
Is a home run going to be, like, even a walk-off, dingle bingle?
Yeah.
This home run from Vogelbach, probably going to be my favorite all year long. I don't think, I can't see one topping it.
Yeah, at least in Safeco, Stanton or, why am I spacing on his name right now? Judge.
Yes.
Stanton or Judge could hit a ball maybe farther than that, but it's just at a different park, it's not going to be as impressive as this shot.
Maybe that's the conversation. One of those guys or Nelson Cruz getting into one that leaves Safeco Field.
Think we'd ever see that happen?
That actually leave. If they sneak one out down the line, that they absolutely hammer.
I can see it happening down the left field line.
Right, that's the spot I'm talking.
I've seen balls in batting practice. It wasn't a pro batting practice. It was actually like a workout. And I got to be there and hang out with some scouts. And there was a guy who was hitting balls in like halfway up, 3/4 up the bleachers and left. So getting close to clearing everything.
I mean, Judge was like 2 rows shy last year.
Yeah.
I think it was like off of Andrew Moore. 2 rows shy of hitting the top of the stadium.
If anybody could do it, he could.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So that's the only thing in my head I can see, like, okay, that one might be more cool. But right now, this is it. This is it for me. Dan Vogelbach clearing the Hit It Here Cafe. Awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
And one other thing about that series, we were there, both of us, Friday night for Ben Gamel Hat Night.
Yes.
Probably the best the best giveaway we've seen.
Yeah.
I know we've mentioned that before, talking about the bad giveaways, but that's probably number one. Yeah. I got about 3 or 4 of those right now in my house.
How'd you get 3 or 4? Who gave yours to?
Your wife gave me one.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And so we have 3. Maybe we somehow came into a 4th, but yeah, we have 3 for sure. If you want one of them back,
I don't want one of them back. I got one of them. Like I said, I went to the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
After the Friday night Ben Gamel Hat Hair Night, at the light rail station, someone had ripped the hair out of the Ben Gamel hat, and it was like draped over the railing.
Yeah.
That looked pretty gross.
Gross. That is gross. Okay.
Anyway, let's get back.
Speaking of gross, let's talk about the Astro series.
Okay, we can jump to the Astro series. I was going to be mad about Sunday's game against the Oakland. They didn't sweep the Oakland A's after scoring 17 runs in those 2 days.
Yeah.
The next day, when I was there on Sunday, 1 run on 2 hits.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I was mad at that because I knew it was coming. Like you said, the Astro series.
Yeah.
They got destroyed by the Astros.
No, that win might be really big against if they would have had against the Athletics on the 15th.
Long term, right?
Yeah.
Think down the road. You're going to be in a wild card battle, we assume, right? Because nobody's going to be better than the Astros. Mm-hmm. You assume down the road, one game is going to be important because the Astros took 3 or 4 from the M's, and we didn't even see their ace.
No. But we saw Cy Young Award winners, but not their ace.
Garrett Cole pitches 4th in that rotation.
That's stupid.
Doesn't make sense.
No, that's stupid.
It makes absolutely 0 sense. Not much noise from the Mariner offense at all. And it makes sense because they were facing really good arms, and they will all year long against the Astros. The Astros are really good at baseball.
Yeah, that's 6 runs in 4 games. That's not going to get it done. That'll win you 1 game.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's it.
So after that, the Mariners did get a good little bounce back series. They traveled to Texas this time to take on the Rangers. They took 2 of 3 from those Texas Rangers. On that Saturday evening game, Edwin Diaz came on for a 4-out save. I think it took him 40 pitches to complete the 9-7 win on April 21st. Shaky Edwin Diaz, were you concerned with it? Did it upset you a little bit, or was it just like, okay, one of those nights where he didn't have his best, but he got through it?
It's going to happen. It's going to. We always say it's a long season, so players going to have hiccups like this. It's not concerning because later on, I think it must have been the end of the White Sox series. Him and Nicasio both pitched the same amount, pitched about an inning every night for 3 nights in a row. So it's just it's not too worrisome. He held it down, but that's going to happen. He's still really young, so those things are going to happen.
But really, it was a 9-7 game, and that final out was recorded fly ball to the warning track with the bases loaded. Ugh.
A win's a win.
So no sense in talking about what a loss could have been?
No, the losses are different. You can prevent those. But a win's
right,
a win's a
we're
win.
talking about shaky Edwin Diaz barely preventing a loss.
But a win is a win is a win. That's all. There's no asterisk in the win column there.
I will go with you and say that, yes, he hasn't been shaky since that night, so I guess it's kind of a moot point. But it was just one of those things where it was like, okay, dude, you've been great thus far. Please don't start to do this now.
Yeah.
Really help us out there. After the Rangers series, the Mariners took on the White Sox, and they got blown out in Game 1. It was not great, but then they came back and won 2 really close games, which was fun to watch.
Yep.
Game 2 of that series, Mariners won 1-0, and then in Game 3, they won 4-3. Game 2 featured Marco Gonzalez going 6 innings, striking out 8 batters.
He's been good.
Is he that kind of a guy, though? I thought he was going to float it over the plate and get a ground ball.
I think
strike out 8.
I think he was still. Last year he was still rehabbing.
Sure.
For the Tommy John. So I think this is kind of the Marco Gonzalez that nobody knew was in there, but the Mariners and the Poto saw.
Right. No, I think what stands out about Gonzalez is the way that he kind of mixes things up.
Yeah.
He'll throw like a second pitch curveball for a strike just because.
Mm-hmm.
And once people start to realize, oh, he'll do this in this spot, he might start to get touched up a little bit more, but then again, he can change that. Yeah. But right now, he's sneaking that curveball over for a strike to get even or get ahead in counts, which I think is important for a guy like him.
Yeah, and back-to-back starts, 8 strikeouts, so far so good.
Yeah, and then in Game 3, that 4-3 win, it was a Mike Zunino home run on like a 9-pitch at bat.
It was a good at bat. I watched the sped up version of that at bat. He was fighting off pitches from all over, up in the zone, down and out, in on his hands. He was really battled in that bat. It looked really, really good.
And he drove it out the other way too.
Yeah, he went and got it. It was borderline a strike that he just poked out.
So it was a protective swing almost that he hit over the wall that would prove to be the game-winning home run.
Yeah, strong kid.
Yeah. Is Mike Zunino good? Is he actually really good?
I don't want to get
That's
ahead of it.
That's why I'm whispering.
Yeah, I don't want to get ahead of it. Hopefully,
because I hated this dude 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I thought he was awful.
Well, I think we can thank former Wildcat Scott Brocious.
Shout out to Linfield.
here in our league here in the Northwest Conference, former coach for the Linfield Wildcats, Scott Brocious. And one of these times I've told my Brocious story. I have a pretty good story with him. When I went and visited.
It is a good story. I like that.
So
we'll save that one, though.
Well, yeah, we will. That'll be on a future when we just talk about just stuff. So, but anyways, I think it's all to him. I would say this Zunino looks totally different than previous Zuninos.
Right.
And which seems to be working.
Which is wild how a couple different tweaks can turn you into the player that everyone thought you were going to be, but you never were.
Yeah.
It's wild. So, Mike Zunino, thanks for that win against the White Sox. And then most recently, what we're riding off, there's an off day today. That's because the M's are working their way back home after a 4-game series in Cleveland, which was going to be tough, but I think the Mariners caught the Indians at the right time.
Yes.
The morning before the first game, Andrew Miller, one of the best relievers in baseball. They don't use him as a closer.
No.
They kind of do, kind of don't.
Yeah.
They use him in the tight spots, which is smart. Smart way to use your best reliever. He hit the DL the morning of Game 1. And that proved to be crucial because the M's would go on to take 3 of 4 from the Indians. In Game 1, it was actually a pair of doubles. It was Nelson Cruz to hit a double to get on second base, scoring position, Ichiro, our favorite player, went out there to pinch run for Cruz, and then Kyle Seager hit a double in like the exact same spot.
Yeah.
Which that's an Andrew Miller spot.
Yeah.
Andrew Miller versus Kyle Seager. Like,
he'll be in there.
Kyle Seager's going to go sit back down after 4 or 5 pitches.
Yeah, maybe a soft rollover.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. Regardless, Kyle Seager's getting out.
Yep.
But instead, Kyle Seager is mashing a double off the wall and scoring the game-winning run for the M's. And then these last 2 games, they lost the second game 5-4. They fought back into that one, or 6-5.
6-5, yeah.
They fought back into it, which was, I mean, Erasmo Ramirez was out there giving up gopher balls like nobody's business. Ugh. He gave up like 5 that game, 5 solo shots.
Yeah, he started off the game with giving up 3 solo home runs. The Indians didn't have a single base hit, meaning every other hit they had was an extra base hit until like the 6th inning. Every other hit they had was an extra base hit.
So a bad night for Erasmo Ramirez. I don't know if that's a bigger picture thing or not. We're going to gloss over that. The Mariners fought back in it, made it a 1-run ball game, but they fell short in that one. What we do want to talk about is the offense that they have been producing the last couple of days. I believe Saturday, a 12-4 win over the Indians, and then on Sunday it was 10-4 in favor of the M's. Dude.
I mean, scoring 5 runs is nothing to shake a stick at, but if you're scoring 12, hard to lose. Hard to lose.
Yeah, how are you losing that?
That is very tough to lose. Unless Erasmo Ramirez is going the full 9, it's really hard to lose those games.
And they're mashing, too. It's an element that I think Dipoto recognized that he needed.
Mm-hmm.
I think last year the philosophy of draw walks and hit balls in the gap was old.
Yeah,
meaning kind of 10 years old as far as like it would have worked a decade, maybe 2 ago.
Yeah,
it's also not modern baseball.
It didn't feel like they also had the right pieces.
Sure,
to go with it.
Sure, but this year, a Mike Zunino who everyone knows can't hit home runs.
Yeah.
A Ryan Healy, sneaky best pickup by any team over the offseason. Ryan Healy, book it right now. I said it. He's hit 3 home runs in 2 games, right?
Yeah.
Dude, he hits 9th.
Yeah. No, and you also have another sneaky guy hitting 6th in your order, not 4, like most of these guys would be your Mitch Haniger.
Yeah,
with
Mitch
10 bombs and 27 RBIs.
He's either this is having done no research, not fully knowing. He's either the best first-month baseball player ever, or he's a superstar.
Wait, yeah.
If he continues this trend, he's a superstar. If he cools off, he's the best first-month baseball player ever.
Yeah, it's stupid. I mentioned earlier that there's one guy on the team that's above a 1 WAR other than Cano, and that's Mitch Haniger with a 1.5, which, for those of you who know, you're already impressed. For those of you who don't know, that's like Mike Trout status of how good he's playing.
Yeah, he's you mentioned though he strikes out second most on the team?
Yeah,
or the most?
The most. That's one thing we weren't expecting. I was flipping through the stats here, and he's got 26 strikeouts and 98 at bats, 97 at bats.
But he's getting the most out of his swing because, as you mentioned, 10 home runs.
10 home runs.
He hit a triple the other day. He can run.
And
he can play defense.
6 doubles. But he's also walking. He's got the second most walks on the team at 12.
Oh my gosh!
So
what is he not doing?
I guess he just has a couple more strikeouts. That's about it.
That's crazy.
He's not really stealing a base. He's got 1 stolen base, but really,
I'd rather keep him healthy than make him steal a base.
True.
I'm not gonna watch him dive in and jam a finger.
Yeah.
You can hang out. Zanino might hit a home run. Like, we need you here worse than we need you on second base. Yeah, Healy might hit a home run.
Any of these guys behind you might hit a home run.
There's like a second, like, you know how most lineups pretty strong 1 through 5, and then you piece it together.
Yeah.
There's like, I don't see right now.
No, you don't get to take a breath after you get through Kyle Seager. Most previous years, you're like, okay, here we go. Here are some guys we can get out. And
make
now it's
okay
just like,
pitches, get out of innings.
Yeah, now it's like, what am I going to do now?
Make great pitches to get out of innings.
Yeah, now you have to get these guys. These guys aren't going to get themselves out.
We'll put it this way. When I got MLB 18 the show and I was scoring 10 runs with the offense, I was like, okay, it's not hard enough. And like bumped up the difficulty.
Uh-huh.
Now they're doing it in real life. So what is going on? Are they this good?
I think.
Are they this good?
At least offensively, I think so. I think they're this good.
Which is weird because that's what everyone talked about coming into it. Like, they're going to be really good offensively, and they have been.
Yeah,
like, it's not a surprise.
Nope, they're doing what people said.
which, you know, you can forecast. We're through a month of the season. They're, 16-11 in second place in the division, I think. So you forecast it out, and you can start to make deals to add to the pitching staff, which at times isn't great, but is doing enough to get wins. Like we mentioned, Marco Gonzalez. You know, it's crazy right now, man.
Yeah, so
it's crazy.
Yep, second in the AL West. Second in the AL West with 16-11. Only 2 games back.
Could be 1 game back if they would have beat the A's on that Sunday.
True.
See? We're already doing it. That's one that I'm going to circle for the rest of the year and be like, I'm mad. I was there.
Yeah.
I'm mad they didn't win that one. One of their 2 hits was a Taylor Motter home run. You wasted a Motter pop on not winning a game. See, I'm heated now.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I mean, at least there's the only other bummer part there while I was looking at that was those stats was that when they went 7-3, the Mariners, pronouns pal, come on. The Mariners went 7-3, but so did the Astros. So it's hard.
The Angels went 3-7 during that stretch.
They did, which is good.
Anytime I could watch the Angels lose, I will turn the TV on. I will. Speaking of the Angels, this weekend, Shohei Ohtani is going to pitch against the Mariners.
Oh. This is gonna sting. This is gonna sting, or
not if we beat them up,
or it's gonna be the best.
Not if the Mariners proceed. Oh, now I got pronoun palled.
Yeah,
right
come on.
If the Mariners beat him up, it's gonna be great.
It is.
It's gonna be great. If they don't, it'll sting a little bit.
Yeah. Also on the docket for me would be on the 5th. The 5th of May is going to be James Paxton Fanny Pack Night.
That's right.
And your boy's going to be there.
That's right.
I'm going to get you a fanny pack. It's happening.
That is fantastic. Anything you're excited for in the Mariners as we start to wrap this thing up and probably do this more often?
Yeah. No,
it was a lot to go through in 30-ish minutes.
Yeah. So we'll have to. We might do another one this week.
Sure.
We were talking about it beforehand, so
sure.
We'll see if that happens. But I just want to see where Paxton goes. Hopefully he can eat a couple more innings up. Continue.
Oh
to see
yeah,
Marco
we didn't touch
Gonzalez.
on Paxton. Paxton.
Yeah, we definitely need to do a new one. Another one this week.
We can talk about Paxton for a couple minutes and get out of here. I have not been. I don't want to say I haven't been impressed because he's striking a ton of guys out, but he's throwing 115 pitches to get through 5 innings. There has to be a way to be a lot more efficient than that. I mean, he did something like that against the Royals. He had 10 strikeouts, but he wasn't great. I don't think he was great.
Yeah, I still think he's got good stuff, but it's just, you need the bullpen can't be relied on as much as they are. Nicasio seems like I'm seeing him every night almost.
I think the theory is that they paid for him, so you're going to see him every night, no matter what, almost. I think that's my theory.
Yeah, but you still want to see a little bit more out of these.
Sure, I'm with you on that. But just, in general, James Paxton is the guy that you have to circle this. If they're still doing the traditional, hey, go get me 7, James Paxton has to be the guy that gets you 7 often.
Yeah.
To reset everything, to afford when Marco Gonzalez isn't his best, to afford when Felix Hernandez is not his best. And Erasmo Ramirez, or whoever that 5th starter is.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he is getting he's 12 and a half strikeouts per 9 innings.
That's very good.
He's striking a ton of guys out. So nobody's really getting on base, but he does have a 5 ERA. So
talk about the strikeouts. Can he do them faster?
I don't know.
Do them in fewer pitches? That's all I'm asking for.
He's just got to be in the zone more. He has make him miss stuff, but he needs to be in the zone to get guys to miss later on the count instead of just trying to work your way there.
Do you think with his velocity, if someone touches a fastball, it's got a really good chance of going pretty far? Do you think that has anything to do with it, or am I thinking too hard about
I don't know.
96 from the left side?
Well, I'm not too sure about that exactly, but it's more of
just a thought, nothing profound about that.
Yeah.
If he makes a mistake in the middle, it's probably getting hit a long, long ways, especially in today's age.
Yeah.
Fair?
Yeah.
So.
Yep, I'm good with that.
A little bit nibbly right now. Is that a problem?
Yeah. I think he needs to be either in the zone. I think he needs to be in the zone more earlier on in counts.
That's fair.
He's getting 2-0, 1-0 on guys, getting behind, having to battle back. He does end up striking these guys out, but it's just eating up too many pitches. I'm trying to look and see at another famous swing and miss guy, and Felix Hernandez, and he does have, at this pace, he's the most strikeouts per 9 innings I'm seeing is about 8.5. There's a couple 9.5s when in the middle of Felix's career, but a young Felix doesn't have more than about 8 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Okay, that's fair, but I think as far as an effectiveness standpoint, Felix used to always get deep into games.
Yeah.
He's probably thrown twice, well, obviously at this point, but if you were to compare, Felix by the time he's, whatever it is, 4 or 5 years deep into the league, not by age, you know what I mean? Because Felix was in from the time it was like 20 on.
19, yeah.
Right? So, but from his 5th year in the league to, Felix has to have had more pitches.
His 5th year in the league, he was throwing 250 innings.
Yeah, that's absurd.
He threw 250 innings.
It's kind of hurting him now.
Yeah, so it's
that's a lot of mileage.
A different game because we don't have like the pitch number stats per game, but he was going deep into games. Paxton's not doing that because he's obviously not going to eat up that many innings.
So that's my problem with Paxton. So he's just great. You're striking out 12 batters per 9 innings. Really strong. But do it a little bit quicker.
Yeah, because at this pace right now with innings pitched, he's already a quarter of the way there based on his previous stats. So he's at 30 innings pitched. He's been his last 2 seasons he's pitched 120 and 140. He's a third of the way there already.
Not a durable guy.
No. So
that's a little worrisome.
Yeah, he does need to get deeper.
Okay. So if we were to pick out of the 5-game over 500 Mariners through the first month of the season, James Paxton, who was supposed to be this team's ace, has a 5 ERA. He's striking out a ton of guys, but he's not lasting very long in the games. So that's what we're most worried about with the Mariners. Let us know in the comment section. What are you worried about with these Seattle Mariners? Even though they're playing well right now, there's still some room for improvement. We should head out of here.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be one of our longer ones, and that's totally fine because it was a pretty good one, I think. So we'll reconvene. We'll do another one of these sometime soon, and hopefully have to cover less material over some time. So for Jackson Kahn, my name is Christian Baugh. I want to thank you for listening to the Bucket Talk Baseball podcast. We're out of here. See ya.
See ya.